A terrific atmosphere down here, Sandy, about 65,000 plus, and a slight breeze across the ground. Michael's won and kicking right to screen.
Thank you, Dipper, and thank you to Gina. So Michael Mansfield winning the toss. And also joining us tonight, down on the boundary line, Leilani Abels, who is Brendan Sandon's girlfriend. Leilani, good evening to you.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Probably not as nervous as you are at the moment. And Sam McKay,
Hi,
Andrew
how are
McKay's
you?
wife. Hi, Sam.
How are you?
How's the week been for both of you? I mean, has there been a little bit of tension in the households?
I mean, a little bit, I suppose, but the guys are, looking forward to tonight, and I suppose this is just a stepping stone to next week when, the points start and we work towards, the big day in September, I suppose. And
Sam, a different year for you this year, because back in Melbourne, was it very unsettling last year?
Yeah, it was very unsettling last year, so it's great to be back in Melbourne, and hopefully we can have a much settled year this year.
Okay, well, we're glad to have you on our coverage tonight. We look forward to a great game.
Thank you.
There's Andrew. And one of you will still be smiling at the end of the night. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Sam and Leilani.
Thank you. We'll see who it is, I suppose.
No worries. Stay with us because we're about to get proceedings underway here. Joining Bruce and I in the commentary position, Tim Watson. Tim, good evening to you and welcome.
Good evening, Sandy.
And John Russo, the fourth umpire. John.
Good evening, Sandy.
Gentlemen, your selections, Tim, in a word.
I'm going for Carlton.
John.
Geelong.
Okay, boys, we're set to go. Paul Couch again. He's been a bit of a bench warmer in latter years. Gavin Dorr, the 36-year-old teacher, is about to get proceedings underway. Listen to this roar. Diesel Williams also on the bench for Carlton. The Ansett Cup Grand Final is underway. And it's Ratton who sends Carlton down in towards the half-forward line. He was looking for Hamill, didn't find him. Picked up by Whitnell. Whitnell tumbles a punt down towards full forward. Scholl has been welcomed back to the fold. Goes across the ground, finds Mansfield. He does it nicely, once, then twice. Goes onto the left foot, up towards centre wing. His target on that occasion was Matthew Robbins, edged out initially. Now Allen heads towards the boundary line. Robbins recovers, but it beats them over. A throw-in on centre wing as Scholl followed it down.
And Sandy, young Milburn's been given a massive task. He's picked up Anthony Koutafidis.
Currently 18, expected to get down to 15. Ideal conditions. Had some rain in Melbourne this morning, but can't complain about the night. It is a huge crowd here. Mansfield second kick, centre wing. Robbins caught underneath. McKay belts it away. Kilpatrick after it out of bay. In front of the 7 sport commentary position. It's the best seat in the stadium, no doubt about that. Now the prices from the sports bet: a return for Geelong of $1.65 for $1 and Carlton $2.10 for $1. So Geelong is favourite to win as far as the national sports bet is concerned. Bradley underneath it, Ratton in there as well, and it's going to be a bounce. Geelong crushed by Carlton on this ground in 1995 in the grand final. They haven't won anything since 1963.
No, it's been a long time. Long time between drinks, but Barnes wins it down. Under real pressure was Kilpatrick. Derek Hall decides to take them on. Try and do it on his own. Oh, Sam. Down goes your husband. He was one of them anyway.
And
I think you'll find he's at the bottom. There he is, Andrew McKay.
also, Sandy, Gary Hocking telling Matthew Hogg not to stand so close.
And in the meantime, the umpire sensibly getting on with the game as Ronnie DeLulio goes over for a throw-in. There's Hogg. Well, there was the buffeting that McKay copped. Pretty tough nut though, Sam, isn't he? He can handle that. I'm sure he can, yes. Play goes on. Whitehead gives it across to Bradley. He twists into trouble. Loses the football. Picked up by Mansfield. A high kick up towards Barnes. In towards full forward. It bounces over in the right forward pocket. And Glenn Manton will see a throw in.
Well, Sandy, Mansfield's picked up Scott Camporeale, so he's moved a long way down the ground, just following Camporeale down the ground. And Camporeale did start way down in the forward line.
Shot from the light ship. Milburn's tackle on Bradley was fantastic a moment ago. Bradley off the ground, kicks it high. There's Milburn underneath it. Koutafidis. Well played. Camporelli. Hogg has to run hard. Scholl courageously. High tackle. No free kick. Play on. Umpires have swallowed the whistle early. Now McKinnon gets one advantage given. Away go the Cats. Riccardi to half forward. Hall has got good hands. McKay played it well. It's play on. Opportunity for Roberts. Couldn't. McKay early touches. Swamped. Riccardi. Tackle on him good. Bradley has another go. Pushed forward by Manton. Rice clever. Then controls the leg to half back. Murphy gave it up. Now Ratton missed the body. Bradley's got to get back. Pressure's intense. Bradley quick kick. Doesn't get very far. Only as far as young Milburn at half forward. He's quickly on. In trouble. Gets it across now and Graham unloads.
With a thumping left foot kick in towards Johnny Barnes. Can't take it cleanly. They want players at the back. Comes the way of Bradley from DeLulio. Craig Bradley steadies. Goes to the outer side. An opportunity now for Camporelli. It goes long and low. In towards centre wing. Wasn't a clean looking kick off the boot. Sanderson under pressure. Hamill a chance for Carlton.
Pushing the back page, Sandy.
Back it'll come. Well, you see this, you tend to forget just how great finals are, but what a start. Sam, Andrew went down early, but he appears to be okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine now. It was a bit scary there for a while.
It was, yes, but he's okay. Play goes on. Oh, Barnes runs straight into the umpire, and Allen says, thank you very much. Wide to centre wing. Riccardi. But coming in to take charge is Gavin Dorr. It'll come back to Scott Camporelli. On centre wing. No score in this game today. Koutafidis is the target. Hands like Stuart Lowe. Hogg. Still 70 metres out. Gives a little ground here, trying to set something up for Camporelli once again. The lead is on. Whitmer was a fine young teenager, and he's going to have a shot directly in front, some 50 metres out. Has played a lot of his football down in defence. In fact, had the job on Stuart Lowe when Silvani was injured last week, and now he's kicked into the man on the mark. He recovers. Can't shrug the tackle over. Does get the hand pass away to Ratton. In towards full forward. High flyer was Hamill. Couldn't take the mark cleanly. Pressure now on the Geelong defence. Mansfield teases them and says, catch me, I'm going out to centre wing. Steinfurt was in front. Socket off the ground and another throw in.
And Sandy, the pressure does get to young players early in a big game like this. Whitnell's touched the ball twice, and on both occasions he really has fluffed his kicks. On that occasion, obviously just going too close to the man on the mark.
Saw some experience there on the interchange bench for the Blues. Front spot Barnes. Allen with the height advantage over the back. Koutafidis traps it magnificently.
Oh, it's
Throwing the footy.
So the free kick to Geelong.
Tim, would you have started with Williams on the bench?
Yeah, look, I think it's probably going to be a good move by Carlton to get Williams on, perhaps late in a quarter when the game just slows down a little bit, the same way that Geelong used Paul Couch last week.
Mansfield's high ball. Allen, Barnes on the ground. Bradley getting some early touches. His kicking's been under pressure though. Has often gone to the opposition early. Clappe hopping onto him in a hurry, and now Hogg onto Hocking, and then Scholl onto Hogg.
Certainly looked as though Clappe was held without the ball then, but and I'm not trying to make excuses, but Gavin Dorr's probably still recovering a bit. He took a really heavy knock a moment ago.
Allen and Barnes, somebody's lost a boot there. It's Allen. Right boot's come off. Ratton tried to get the kick away. Lynch tackles hard, so does Hocking. And again a bounce, centre wing. There's Matthew Allen, 22-year-old, heir apparent to Justin Madden, Brian Sheehan, Mark Nash, Gavin Dorr, 9-14-19. Grand final umpires from last year. Barnes belts it out. Koutafidis and Lynch. Lynch's handball. Didn't find his mark. Pressure's been fantastic early. Whitehead probably took one step too many. It was fortuitous it got to Allen. Allen controls, good kick. Clappe's 50 metres out. Centering kick wants the right bounce. Didn't get it. Well played, Graham. Fortune for the Brave there. Another high bounce. Tough ball. Free kick, no. Yes, coming back.
Brave, pushing the back.
For Geelong.
Yes.
Burns has got it at centre wing. Still no score. We've been playing 8 minutes in the final of the Ansett Cup.
Ronnie Burns has a look down towards half forward. Lightly built, but a real dynamo. Sexton edged out. Hall is going to have a shot. And this should be the first score of the night.
I think that's been paid for holding in the marking contest just before the ball arrived, Sandy, so we'll see it again.
No, go with him, go with him!
Really, Colbert got rid of Sexton in that contest. You'd have to say that that was almost interference before the ball arrived.
Well, the bottom line is Derek Hall is going to have a shot for goal. Kicking from 40 metres on a slight angle. This to get the Cats underway in the Ansett Cup for 97. He's pulled it away to the left, and the behind goes on the ball.
I'm looking at the replay. I think the mark was paid for the one firm grab.
And Hall pulled about 4 or 5 kicks last week against North Melbourne too. They all finished up on the wrong side of the goal.
Sexton in towards the centre. Matt Clapper under pressure from Scholl, but he's in front. Following down Whitehead towards Rice. He's just forward of centre. The Blues looking to set something up. Of course, no Spalding, no Kernahan down in that forward line. So there's been some experimenting in recent weeks. Hogg drifts down into the pocket in front of Buddha. Mind you, Geelong could say the same thing, couldn't they? No Ablett, Stoneham, Brownless, and now Aaron Hamill.
They're not a high handballing side, Carlton, but they do like to chip the ball around, and their precision passing in the early stages of this game has been pretty good considering the pressure in this game. And Matthew Hogg, we saw on that occasion, running extremely hard to work Gary Hocking back the other way.
Kicked a couple of telling goals in the second quarter against St Kilda, Hamill. Now from 48 metres, that of course was at Waverley. Now we're playing a night final here at the MCG, and the boys shooting for goal. Don't like it early on, Bruce. Out on the full.
Struggling to score. Sanderson in the back pocket. Short across the ground. No problems there to Handley. He was pretty useful last week when he came on. Over the top. Lynch has got it. He's a star in the first 2 games for Geelong. Quiet last week. Centre wing. Bitterscombe. Taken by Riccardi. Riccardi into the centre. Now a chance for Hogg. Hogg to Koutafidis. Koutafidis now straightens up. Right foot goes back inside 50. Hamill at the back. Camporelli can't take it. Lynch. Camporelli working it in front. Well played, Camporelli over the top. Ratton under pressure. Breaks the tackle. 52 metres out. Goes to the pocket. Bradley's got it. Good pass by Ratton in the pocket. And Bradley's got it on a acute angle about 25 metres out from goal. So Bradley, what can he conjure up here? Bradley in the pocket here after a terrific pass by Ratton. Good build-up by Carlton. And Bradley with a chance to kick Carlton's first score, surely, and maybe their first goal. Improves the angle, goes for it and misses. Has he missed the lot? No, it's a behind. Scores a level at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. A point apiece.
Sorry, Bruce, Scott Camporelli, who's been picked up by Mansfield, has been getting a number of touches. So Mansfield very good on Allison last week. He's going to have to tighten up on Camporelli.
For much of this year's Ansett Cup, high-scoring games have been a rarity. And the way this one has started, you wonder what's going to happen as Graham unloads with a left foot bomb towards Barnes. Unable to take it cleanly. Paul Lynch would dearly love an injury-free season. Bradley held onto it for a long time. Dean ducked his head. Took the kick down to half forward. It's going to be okay. Hamill takes the mark. Still a long way out is Aaron Hamill. Into the forward zone of Koutafidis. The high flyer. Couldn't take it. Pressure now on the defence once again, and Scholl. Cool. Tidies up. Coming back towards Carl Steinford. He marks at half-back. Plays on to Lynch. Caught. Back to Steinford again. Not out of trouble yet. Hurriedly onto the left foot. McHale leads in the race. If he gets a kind bounce, he'll be okay. Pulls it round the body, but it's going to wobble away and over the line. There's Adrian Gleeson. David Parkin. Parkin in his 19th year of coaching. 12 now at Carlton, and of course with 3 flags to his credit. It's a mighty record.
Centre wing, and Allen tried to lay it down for Ratton. Hocking with him. A couple of real hard nuts there, Hocking and Ratton. It's going to come back.
Ratton held without the ball by Gary Hocking.
Hogg's in a bit of trouble. He's got the job on Hocking so far. Hocking hasn't had a touch. He's had a tackle, but here's Hogg and Kilpatrick.
Oh.
Hope he's all right, Hogg. Coming from the ground, Clappe sprays it badly. So we've had some chances. Whitnell into the man on the mark. Hamill pushes to the right. Bradley misses as Hogg comes off the ground. Clappe sprays into the other end. Hall misses one. So Matthew Hogg, we've got both Russell Morris and the Big Dipper down there tonight.
Hey, Greg Williams has just come onto the ground, Bruce.
The last final he played against Geelong, he won't forget. He won the Norm Smith and kicked 5 in the pocket.
And he's just gone up to Gary Hocking also, so that should be an interesting clash.
Best and fairest winner of both clubs, Geelong and Carlton. Dean at the back. Hanley. Kilpatrick. It's an interesting one for Gary Hocking tonight. So brilliant in the lead-up. Grand final performances in the day competitions have been very disappointing.
They have been, but that was a brilliant bit of work then. He didn't actually grab the ball from that crumb, but he was there right underneath the pack then and just tapped the ball along to his teammate. He works incredibly hard right at the face of the ball.
And very difficult at times to define his possessions. Grand player, Allen, down towards the forward line. Whitnell comes steaming out, gives it to Murphy, who can really set aside a light as he bends this around for the Blues. Well, Justin Murphy kicked 3 in the third term last week. That's what he can produce, Tim.
He's a magical player. He is just one of those great touch players that can kick miraculous goals. On this occasion, really, as he grabbed hold of the ball, and good play here by Whitnell, he's always leading up to the ball. I just thought that Murphy did have enough space and time then to straighten up, but he bent the ball back beautifully. Magnificent goal.
So the Blues are on the board, thanks to Justin Murphy. The young Tiger who played 12 games at Punt Road. Koutafidis is going to get them going again. Whitehead out of the centre. Williams gets a short kick. Not long enough. Kilpatrick intercepts. Back to Williams. Shrugs the tackle. Tumbles it onto the left boot. Kicked a little blindly, however, and Scholl was in the right place at the right time. He goes dangerously wide to Hanley, who marks between the back pocket and halfback.
Wanted to give it off to Lynch. He'll go there now. He's got him at halfback. Murphy, who kicked that spectacular goal a moment ago on the mark.
Stay there, wait for the call. Well done.
Lynch goes short. Umpires mic'd for the Ansett Cup. You can hear them giving instructions. Riccardi's kick cut off by Ratton has been very good. That's a terrific handball to D'Aulio. Here's a chance. Missed his mark. Had Murphy clear and couldn't find him. McKinnon, Scholl, just stretches Murphy, teases him a bit and then races away, arches the back. Missed by Robbins. Whitehead good. Kept his cool when he was attacked. Williams shrugs one. High tackle. Must get the free kick.
There's just been a couple of Geelong possessions where they haven't hit their targets. The ball hasn't carried far enough, as we see here. The free kick going to Greg Williams, obviously around the face on that occasion. A fairly crude attempt to tackle.
Williams to half forward. Dean. Graham works him underneath. Out of play. Carlton fans want another free kick, but not that time.
Well, Dean may well have been pushed, but Brian Sheehan wouldn't have been able to see it from where he was. He would have been guessing.
Gary Ayres.
And I've been watching Colbert down the other end of the ground. He's been picked up by Michael Sexton. They're trying to get Sexton right back at the full back line, get him away from that dangerous centre-half back position.
Scholl from half-back to centre wing. Good kick. This is young Roberts.
Big raps on this young boy. Cameron Roberts, South Australian teenager, hooks it in towards the centre. That's dangerous because Koutafidis is lurking there. Puts Whitehead, though, under pressure. He bounces back towards the ball and shovels it out. Still as intense as it was in the opening minutes. Lynch caught, almost gave away a free kick. Koutafidis claimed. And it's like ballroom dancing in there at the moment, but a little more of a blitz. Now Hogg left the ground. How is he, Dipper?
At the moment, the doctors are retaping his ankle. He looks okay at this stage. I'll let you know as soon as he gets a bit better.
Allen, Hocking at the bottom.
An interesting battle now between Diesel and Hocking. Hocking will appreciate the fact that Hogg's on the boundary line, because he won't be given the same close attention by Greg Williams, but they'll play fairly wide of each other. It'll be interesting to see who gathers the most possessions.
Barnes a little too far underneath. Allen, Camporelli feeling the heat, and another bounce.
I'd expect Diesel probably to spend a bit of time in the forward line, where he's a dangerous player around goals.
Just in Geelong's attacking zone. It can go further now, courtesy of Hocking. Swings round on a quick 360, clean bowls everyone. And Manton decides to concede.
That takes the guesswork out of it all, doesn't it?
2 behinds to 1-1 with just over 6 minutes of this first quarter of the Ansett Cup Grand Final remaining.
Camporelli finds Sexton at half-back. Mr. Consistency. Goes long. Allen a target. Hamill, good mark, front spot. He's had a very good start here, Hamill. Settled down well, the 19-year-old.
Had a big pre-season too, Hamill.
Future star at the club. Delivers to Whitnell, the other teenager for the Blues. Mansfield tackled by Ratton. And a bounce. What do you think, Tim? Who's had the best of the first 20 minutes? Geelong or Carlton?
No, I think Carlton have controlled the game a little bit in this first quarter. Certainly a tough start, hard, pressurised football, but Geelong just need to settle down a bit.
Alan Williams looking for a free kick. Hocking. Second kick in about a minute. Centre wing, Lynch and Christou. Christou makes a certain effort, belts it over the line. Boundary throw-in.
The Carlton backline has been supreme as it was last year. Very difficult to get the ball past half-back. They work particularly well as a team back there, the half-back line.
Say last year, you mean in 95 when they were so brilliant?
Well, they were still good last year. They weren't as good as 95, but they were pretty good last year also.
Yeah, they had a great start, 10-2 midway during the season. Then the wheels fell off a bit. But they're certainly back on at the moment. Mansfield tries to take them on. Doesn't succeed. Geelong have got the numbers, though. Whipped out towards Scholl, who goes wide into the wing, and Lynch. Lynch goes for a worm burner towards Ronnie Burns. Derek Hall now under pressure. Craig Bradley on all fours. It's going to go back to Geelong.
Pushing the back pace, Sandy.
Derek Hall between centre and half forward. Barnes drifts down into that forward line, but he elects to go shorter, and getting a hand to it was Craig Bradley before Michael Sexton. The Sandhurst chiropractor sees it safely over the line. Cat fans have come from everywhere. So too Blues supporters. Fantastic crowd of over 70,000. No doubt about that. Ratton couldn't take it. Ange Christou goes for a big woof. Doesn't connect. And Caporelli taken over the line with Peter Riccardi.
Look at that Geelong forward line, and you wonder where they may get the goals from tonight. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mansfield go down there at some stage tonight, because he's a proven forward.
Roberts and Hall against Allen. Burns. Lynch. Ratton. Interesting with Bradley and Hocking, as they did in that 1995 Grand Final, now against one another with Hogg off the ground. Widdicombe about to come on. So good last week, Widdicombe.
It's a surprise that he started on the bench.
Giulio. Whitehead, he started well. To Rice, he kicked a telling goal last week. Gets his kick in to centre half forward. Whitnell back, over the back. Here's a chance for the Blues. Whitnell's got it. He's going to kick his first. And Carlton second. Tim, that'll settle him down.
That's exactly what he needed. He did have two very nervous kicks, two nervous possessions at the start of the game. What I like most about him as a young player, he actually reminds me a little bit about Derek Brereton, the way he actually leads up to the ball. He's a reasonably tall fella, so he needs to be opposed to someone of similar height, but he also works pretty well below his knees, and he does crumble as he did on that occasion.
The Blues sneak away to an 11-point lead. Sam, are you happy with that at the moment?
Very happy.
Sam McKay, the wife of Andy, down in the crowd. as we go back for the centre bounce. Whitnell 1, Murphy 1. They're the goal kickers for the Blues. Allen gets a decent run at it and wins it, but it's Hocking who tries to snare it out of the middle. In fact, has a couple of attempts. In the end, loses it. Some heavy work going on there for Clappe, but he rides all bumps. Dean up and down and wide towards Rice, who gets a fickle bounce. Eventually it comes back his way. He can go short to Murphy, who's got a bit of time now. Can set something up to Bradley. He's got Christou really wide. Whitnell short, but takes Murphy running with him. Down towards Christou. Unable to take it cleanly. Ratton was going past. Now it comes towards Christou in the pocket. He needs help badly. Past Koutafidis it goes. Back again towards Kouta. They try and lock it up. Mansfield was at the bottom of the pack. Ratton persists as he does so often. It's a hot potato down there at the moment. And ridden into the ground is Michael Mansfield.
Contact over the shoulder, Sandy. Free kick paid for a high tackle. Greg Williams just jumps on him here. Left arm right over the shoulder and then takes the arm away and looks as though he's attacking legitimately. Back
with Murphy then on centre wing. Again, he spears it in towards the 17-year-old Whitnell. Couldn't take it cleanly. Riccardi's under pressure. Pushes the ball out in front. Taken away by McKinnon.
High, difficult one. Hall tried to keep his eye on it. Then goes long to the forward pocket. Burns. Well done. Can conjure something here, Burns. Very clever player. Chips and finds Colbert, who stood his ground well with Sexton bearing in on him. So a terrific setup by Geelong. And the key there was they moved it quickly. They got the ball out of the fence and broke a line in a hurry. They need a goal. I know it's early and there's only 2 goals against them, but the momentum has been with the Blues, and Geelong need a goal here just to steady it up. And he shouldn't miss. He's 35 metres out. The angle's not difficult. Has he got it? He's hooked it. Well, Derek Hall and Lee Colbert have missed 2.
As we see this set up by Geelong from the Whitman's white chip, taking the ball on the outer flank. And perhaps a bit of a lucky break here. Sexton was in the right position, the ball getting underneath him, and Hall then finishing off to Burns.
So from the kick out, Colbert wants another shot, gives it away to Lynch.
Free kick's been paid by Gavin Durham in the mid-zone for incorrect disposal, throwing the footy.
Against the rock star, Ronnie Burns.
And a number of Geelong players just holding onto the ball a little bit long. And you can't do it in a tight opening to a game like this.
Delulio. Whitehead on his own. Plays on now, down towards Ratton. Needs help, Murphy. Mansfield making sure that Ratton wasn't going anywhere for the old 1-2. Biddiscombe's hand pass is okay to Buddha. He chips down into the forward line. Is it okay? Not quite. Burns may get a chance. Pounces on it, but he gets caught. Delulio towards the boundary line. And Ronnie sees it over. Pretty tense first quarter, Leilani, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I'm sort of waiting for us to get that goal through, but I'm sure it's not too far away.
Just 2 scored at the moment, both by the Blues. Here's Barnes and Allen once again. Allen looking to get the left hand to it. Leaks through but without it. Allen getting a second grab at it to Murphy. It's a high one towards Bradley. Been a grand player for Carlton. 4 times All-Australian. 5 kicks and 3 marks already. And of course he's been a club champion on 3 times as well. One of the fitness fanatics of the game, isn't he, Bruce? Just a grand player. Allen. Between half-back and centre wing. Goes with the left foot up towards half-forward. Barnes floating in from the side. Clappe's at the back, but he's beaten by the siren. Quarter time here at the MCG. A typical grand final quarter. Good, tight, hard contest. Just 2 goals being squeezed out One by Lance Whitnell and the other by Justin Murphy, both for the Blues. Don't make any decisions yet because it's still very, very early days, isn't it, Dippo? There's a long way to go.
Certainly is, Sandy. Actually, we might join the boys for a drink later on. Russell,
Gary is a bit concerned, Sandy, about the use of Gary Hocking. They're relying on him too much, and also they might be using Johnny Barnes further up forward line for more forward options, as Tim mentioned. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if Couchy came on very, very, very soon. Interesting.
Yes, thank you very much for that. Here's Carl Steinfort. Had a marvellous pre-season, the fittest player at the club just about, but comes unstuck there as Manton gives it to Whitehead. Wobbles it over his head and it's taken by Koutafidis. A polite, let go Gary, let go Gary. Big Ange woofs it to half forward. Murphy was the early flyer. Hanley went from behind. Carlton have got the numbers. Murphy was first to recover. Paddling it through, but it's taken by Hall. And deadly Derek Hall gives it away to Michael Mansfield. He defends to the outer side. It goes over the head of Diesel Williams and Dean Rice. And it's over the line. Murphy off for the blood rule to be on the right eye. Yes, he is leaving the ground and just copping one high there. But no doubt he'll be back soon. Hannah, in the meantime, comes on for the Blues.
Dean on the left, back inside 50. Mansfield courageously, but Bradley at the back to mop up and kicks another one. Mr. Efficiency plays so well in big matches, Bradley. 3-1 to 3 points.
It's interesting, in the first quarter, in the real heat of the game, Bradley was playing very much as a spare type player across the half-back line, and this is probably one of the only few times he's gone forward. Hocking did go to pick him up, but he was just hypnotised by that ball as it came forward and just giving Bradley a little bit too much space.
19 to 3. Bradley with 7 kicks, kicking the early goal that Geelong did not want. Graham tries to come forward. Good hip and shoulder by Steinfort. Held up the Blues for a moment and another bounce. McGrath coming on and Hanley off. McGrath, who had his colours lowered by Carey last week. That's no shame. And then Ben Graham went on. And McGrath's gone to pick up Whitnell. So going straight back to full-back, and that releases Derek Hall.
Free kick for ruck interference, Bruce.
Koutafidis been lining up on the wing and then going deep into the forward line. Now his direct opponent is Craig Bitterscombe. A good match for Carlton.
Allen pops it up to full forward. Whitnell and Koutafidis. McGrath into the action. Hamill trying to get back. Scholl concedes. Behind. 3-2. Carlton 20. Geelong 3 behinds. Ben Graham to build it back in.
Hard play to match up Anthony Koutafidis. Terrific running ability, but also very good above his head.
17 points as Graham goes more for direction. He goes straight down the middle. Taken by McGrath, and he gives it away now. McKinnon's got a chance to run for the Cats, and he can put them into attack. Down towards the half-forward line. Clean ball was Lee Colbert. Into the pocket goes Sexton. Got a bit of a nudge.
Pushing the back.
In fact, more than a nudge, said the umpire. He's going to take a free kick. Murphy, is that merely a cut eye, Dipper, or is it something more serious?
No, Sam, the old boxer's injury, the cut eye. He should be on the ground very shortly. The doctor just cleaned him up at the moment.
Here's Sexton. Cool towards half-back. Bean just tries to give it a little more meterage. Oh, lovely collect by Whitehead, but then he's claimed by Kilpatrick.
Tackled while he was bouncing the footy, which means that he's disposed of the footy incorrectly, so free kick paid against him.
His kick goes into half-forward. Umpire calls play on. The Cats still searching for that elusive first goal. This Carlton defence is really tight as a drum, but they may get a chance now because Sanderson is going to send them forward.
Free kick paid here for kicking in a manner likely to cause injury. It was really committed to that action. It's probably a bit tough. Both players just trying to get at the footy.
Tell Leilani not to belt Sam on the line because that was Sam and Brendan.
And there's Andy McKay, couldn't take it. Pushed towards the line. Bradley picks it up delightfully. Bends it round the body towards centre wing. A little too wide, however, and out of bounds on the full.
It's a hard defence to get past, isn't it, that Carlton back line? You really do have to take your chances. You've got to get the ball in there as quickly as you can. Probably not enough crummers in there at the moment.
Hocking goes into Scholl, who thought about going direct but gives it to Graham, and that slews off the side of the boot. Williams will be first to this one, and it could be a costly turnover.
Normally uses the ball brilliantly, goes long over the top. Carlton had numbers, brilliantly played though at the back. Scholl, well done. They were against the tide and he did it beautifully, and then chips away. DiIulio had the pace to go with Burns. Milburn lost it in a bit of a flurry. Geelong on top of it, and it's going to be a bounce.
Terrible kick then by Brad Scholl. He did all the hard work, then he kicked to a 50-50 on a short lead up the central corridor.
Free kick paid maybe for something like saying something shouldn't have been said to Mark Nash.
So Sanderson gets it from McGrath and kicks the ball to half forward. Hanley, well done. It's a good mark.
It was a good kick, Leilani, wasn't it? She's just concentrating, Bruce.
So Hanley from 50. Short again. Barnes marks the spot. 45 metres out. Wouldn't they love a long bomb here to go through?
Still a hard kick from there. He's going to have to kick the ball about 55. Not a huge kick, John Barnes.
It's just 17 points the difference. But Carlton with all the momentum and the only goals on the board so far. Barnes has kicked it pretty well. He's kicked it for the distance. But again, Geelong inaccurate, so 4 behinds. You couldn't really blame him for that one, but they've had a couple of relatively easy ones at the other end. It's 4-20, and Carlton's got a good lead. Remembering that grand final in 95 when the Blues blew them away early, and Geelong couldn't really get back into it.
Here goes running Ronnie DiIulio, but only for a moment. Turns it over to McKinnon. He may be forced to pay. Ronnie Burns, 60 metres out. Wobbles, an awful kick. Straight onto the chest of Christou. Well, they've had their chances, Tim, down in that forward line. Camberelli takes it from Manton, back to Christou, woof, to the half-back line. And Allen, who's doing a superb job, takes the mark, but then tries something a little too ambitious, perhaps. Riccardi overruns it, Rice towards the boundary line. Quite happy to see it over.
Well, I don't know who said it's a game of mistakes, but they got it pretty right, didn't they? You really have to take your chances in this game. It's a game of turnovers, just poor mental decisions made by a number of players. That
Gary Ayres has noticed that. He's made a change with Ronnie Burns straight off the ground and Matthew Robbins coming onto the MCG. A call of touch play on, so Diesel Williams does. Tries to surge it forward to Clapper. He's beautifully tackled, loses the football to Mansfield. Michael Mansfield again. Chips poorly. Whitnell does it beautifully. Here's an opportunity for Hamill as he goes goalwards, but he's pulled to the left. No score as Aaron Hamill picks himself up.
And you just wouldn't expect an experienced player like Michael Mansfield to make a mistake like that, trying to chip the ball across into the centre of the ground.
I'm looking down at Leilani and Sam. They're looking like coaches. They look that uncomfortable, that nervous. You all right, Sam?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Don't lie. I don't think you are at the moment. Barnes gets the hand pass out wide. Bradley close to the line, can keep it into Williams, but he's beaten. This is Kilpatrick. The Cats are away. Looks from half-back, down towards centre wing. Still they search towards Lynch. Was held, said the umpire. And Paul Lynch will take the free kick.
Gives it up to Riccardi on his wrong side, but it's a good kick all the same. To half forward, Robbins back to Riccardi. This will take a miracle goal. It's a good kick. It's Mark touched, Manton behind. Gee, Riccardi floated it. It was pretty accurate from the pocket. So some good football there as Ronnie Burns on the phone to Gary Ayres. A couple of bad kicks from Burns in the last couple of minutes, and Hannah gets the ball. It's 5 points for Geelong and 3-2 for the Blues. The Blues away. Dean Ratton on the lead, with him Mansfield. That's an interesting matchup. Ratton gets his kick in. Sanderson back. Had Milburn there, decides to go for the safety of the line, wants it to roll out. Not sure if it will. It does, finally. And in the end, it was unlucky for Geelong because McGrath was the first man there.
And Carlton once again clearing the ball away well from a behind. They really do work that well with Christou kicking the ball out.
Murphy ready to come on for the Blues. He was terrific in the opening term. Hamill went to Gran, and again a bounce.
kicked a sensational goal in the first quarter. Justin Murphy. Change is being made now. Peter Dean is the one coming off. 32-year-old veteran having a spell. And well he may. Bradley. Clear. Still fleet of foot. Sneaks away from Buddha and then produces a delightful pass to Lance Whitnell. Goes in towards full forward. Koutafidis, those telescopic arms shoot out.
Well, Sandy, that's the mismatch that I was talking about before, and that's exactly what Carlton would like. They'd love to have Milburn in this occasion minding Koutafidis in the forward line, because he really does test you. You need to have almost your tallest player on someone like Koutafidis, because he marks like a guy who's 6'5", 6'6".
Koutafidis and Whitnell doing the job at the moment, and of course there's Kernahan, Spalding and co to come back into this lineup. So maybe they're out to prove a point. They're not old and ready to go to the scrap heap just yet, the Navy Blues. 35 metres out is Kuta. And he's caught that Geelong disease.
That is a bad miss. You'd have to say almost at this stage, this early stage, the difference between the two sides is that Carlton do have forwards that they can go to when they get the ball there, whereas the Carlton backline is so strong that they're really making it difficult for Geelong to get the ball in there and actually present themselves with a scoring opportunity.
Flat-looking punt is beautifully taken by Robbins for the Cats. He's in the middle of the ground. Turns wide towards a right half forward. Craig Bitterscombe is there. Brings it back inside, back to Robbins. He's going to be caught. And it's picked. Mark Nash saying too long. And Ratton will play on.
Short, wants Rice, got him. Sexton running for him, high ball to full forward. Koutafidis at the back, Graham in the front, Scholl, Crumming, now Milburn across to Sanderson, controlled it pretty well. It should sit for Colbert, takes his time, too long, goes back, could get away with it. Milburn, but under pressure in the end, so Lee Colbert really didn't set that up too well and out of play. Gary Ayres would be disappointed.
Once again, just poor ball handling cost them time, Geelong. They'll learn from this. And Paul Couch has just come onto the ground, and he is a sure ball handler.
Hocking off.
And Hocking's off.
Bradley was on top of Hocking in this term, but Hocking given a spell. Kilpatrick got it from Barnes, nothing happened. Allen back to Barnes. Slow handball to Couch. Rice. A couple of goals to Carlton here, and you reckon Geelong are going to be in trouble, don't you? If they can split this game open in the next 5 minutes. Talked about Kuta having Geelong disease. He didn't kick all that well last week himself, Kuta, did he? At Waverley Park, there's Ratton bleeding. And Kilpatrick's pointing it out, and Ratton will come off the ground under the blood rule.
Thanks, guys.
So the Cats just hanging in because Carlton hasn't been able to really punish them on the board either. 3-3 to 5 behind. 16 points. Very tense final here. Barnes, Allen, Barnes well done, pushes. Rice trying to give it to White, was a bit too close. Diolio runs it to the line, out of play.
White wasn't ready to come on then, Bruce, so they actually started the game before the replacement player took his position.
Same again, Matty.
There's Cocking down there. Be desperate to get back. Who would have predicted that at the start of this match? Rice, high ball. Numbers with Geelong. Graham belts it away. Missed by White. Murphy brilliantly done to Camporelli. To Clappe. Centering kick was a good one. Gives his forwards a chance. Hannah. Well played McKinnon. Williams, you'd back him to kick a goal, but he hasn't. He's missed the lot. Out of play in the pocket. It was a precious situation, but he's normally so clever. 21 to 5.
Under 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Barnes plucks it out of the air, but he gets beautifully tackled with one arm pinned. He's got to be picked.
Too long. Prior opportunity, tackled, didn't kick or handball. Johnny Barnes has a look around.
He knows.
And once again, and I don't like to harp on this, but once again, it's a Geelong player just holding on to the ball too long. It's a tight game. The defences of sides have improved in the last 2 or 3 years. You must do the first thing when you get hold of the ball. You haven't got time to hold on to it.
Clappe from 40 metres. Low drop punt looks pretty good. Matt Clappe gets his first. And Carlton just now starting to make it that much more difficult. 4-3 plays 5 behinds.
Well, there's quite a gap. There is quite a gap in the game, but if you look at the scoreboard, there's 5 scoring shots to 7. Once again, Carlton using the ball better into their forward line.
Gary Ayres trying to reposition his charges, trying to start something up, trying to get some goals on the board. But at the moment, the Carlton defence is standing firm. And their forward line's doing OK too, as Mansfield again kicks under pressure. It's loose off the side of the boot simply because of the pressure. A turnover could be costly. White's hand pass, a little too short. He'll take it back again. White chips up towards half forward, only goes 5 or 6 metres. Eventually it's Mansfield who tidies up quite nicely. Couch will want to swing back onto the left foot. He can't. It's the pressure that's being applied. Back to Mansfield. A high left footer up towards the 50. Sexton from behind. Again is the effective spoiler. Bradley, what a lovely touch to Murphy. Murphy goes wide towards Big Mill Hanna. And look at that for a tackle on Shaw. Whitnell now gives the hand pass wide. Clappe again. Carlton go into attack. Kuna can go over the top. The danger signs are up here for Geelong.
It is a dangerous period of the game for Geelong now. They're starting to look a little bit ragged. But once again, playing ring-a-ring-a-rosy football, they've got to get the ball under their boot as quickly as they can and get it down to the forward line. Let someone else make the play down the field, but just get it as far away as they possibly can from the Carlton goal. And a player who has been good in this quarter, Sandy's been Allen out of the centre too. We haven't mentioned him, but he has been a very good player in this quarter.
Scott Camporelli for his first. Kicking from the pocket. Beautiful kick. The Blues are on their way.
And Carlton looking extremely sharp at this early stage of the season. A great tackle on that occasion by Mill Hanna. Whitnell the first give. And just their usage of the ball here. This is a beautiful pass to Koutafidis. And then their willingness to run and create again. Camporelli finding space.
Blues fans rejoicing here. Buddha Hocking still on the interchange as Carlton split the game open. 5-3 to 5 points.
30 more possessions than the Cats, Bruce.
Geelong have got to get a couple in a hurry before half-time. Bradley having a big first half. Kicks the ball to half forward. Whitnell in the front spot. Hamill, well played. To Clappe, who's been fantastic. Camporelli, you would think he would kick, and he's missed the lot. He was only 35 metres out on the run. That would have really stung then. Ratton getting ready to come back. Burns getting ready. Christou looks like, was it White coming off? White coming off for Ratton. And Sam Smart might be getting a run too for the Blues. They're suddenly cruising. Graham. Mansfield in the back pocket. High ball goes for distance. Front spot Allen, who's looked every bit as tall as Harry Madden tonight. Bitterscombe. Put McKinnon under pressure. Put Shaw under pressure. Ratton rips it away. Goes towards full forward. Mansfield gets back. Fingers couldn't find the footy. Boundary throw in. I'm just interested and intrigued with the hockey. Sitting out at the moment where you reckon Geelong could lose it all in the next 2 or 3 minutes, and there he is.
I think Gary Ayres might be a little bit disappointed in his defensive side of his game.
Barnes now finds Koutafidis as his opponent down in that Carlton forward zone. Sanderson, the bottom of the pack. Camporelli and over the top. Kilpatrick there as well. Brendan Sanderson picks himself up. Leilani, his girlfriend, is watching this game. And at the moment, they can't buy a goal. Barnes beat Koutafidis. Ratton again. Had a wonderful game last week. Was quite sensational. Couch gets the hand pass off to McGrath. Tim McGrath's away. Across the centre. A floating punt kick down towards half forward. How tight is this Carlton defence? Lee Colbert is about to find out. It's locked up at centre half forward. What would you give for a goal, Leilani?
Probably a wine at this stage.
Oh, dear. Well, they're not out of it yet, but they want a couple before half-time, I'm sure. Remembering, of course, that St Kilda came home very, very strongly against Carlton. Whitehead marks at half-back. But it's such a strong defence. A clever tap, beautifully done by Christou. The old 1-2, they out of it yet to Manton. Under pressure, but he goes back again. And finally, he woofs it to left half forward. Changes galore being made as Dean comes back onto the ground. That kick also typifies, really, Tim, the Geelong of tonight.
They haven't handled the pressure well tonight, though.
Dean.
Back behind him, Peter. Start behind the boundary line, mate. That's it, you're right there. Still mine. Right on Michael.
Now Brett Rack. In towards the left forward pocket. Out comes the pumping Diesel. Taken off the ball. And it finishes over the line.
They desperately need a goal, Geelong. They're just really lacking in confidence now.
Barnes doing the rut work in front. Manton and then McGrath. Tim McGrath's high kick goes up towards the centre wing area. The young boy from Norwood is on, Sam Smart. We wish him well. Into half forward. Kilpatrick will defend with McGrath. Does so to the outer side and says, it's too hot in here, I'm getting out. I'm going straight to the boundary.
McGrath off the interchange bench. Fantastic crowd here tonight. Must be over 70,000, could even be close to 80.
Yeah, you're right.
28 points the margin. Dean front spot. Builded forward by Steinfort. Riccardi relatively quiet. Couch, couple of touches off the interchange. He's so important, he normally delivers. Colbert, this is their first chance in ages. McKinnon running. Colbert chip should take the mark. He's got him. A chance at last. Must go back and kick a goal. Has to here. Good setup. They got it pretty quickly, as we see from the light ship. Colbert and Riccardi involved, and then McKinnon making some space, and they found him. So McKinnon from 35 metres out.
That's the one they want.
He's got it. They're on the ball. And funnily enough, Tim, you look at that ball, there's not a lot in it.
No, but there's not a lot. Carlton have controlled this game for most of the first half, but Geelong aren't out of it. They've just been lacking in confidence, and what they really desperately needed was a very positive attack, and that's precisely what happened almost on half-time, and that'll give them a lot of confidence. They started to stop trusting their instincts, and they needed to get themselves back into a position.
So the Cats finally on the board. Paul Corrigan has come onto the ground. They've swung a change there. Looks like Hall is off. Whitehead unable to take it cleanly. Julio at the bottom of the pack. They pounce upon him. The Cats have suddenly got a lift after that goal. It's been a long, long time in coming, but they go down to that forward zone once again. Who knows? They may get another chance. Melbourne at the bottom of the pack. Hangs on to it for a long time. No one able to take it cleanly. And eventually it's Michael Sexton at the bottom of the pack, stealing it from Lynch and forcing a bounce. Leilani's even chatting. They've got a goal. Forget the white wine for the moment, Leilani. They may get more. Who knows? Smart doing the ruck work. Lynch ridden into the ground, almost threw out that ball. An effective smother. Will see Whitehead flick it over his head towards the boundary line. Koutafidis runs out of room.
Ratton's got Couch. So Couch was running a bit with Bradley when he came on, but Parkin obviously sees Couch as a danger here, and you do feel that Geelong have sensed something, that they've got a sniff. Hannah cut off by Kilpatrick. Camperali, well done. To Hannah again. High ball to centre wing. Underneath it, McGrath, front spot there courageously was Sanderson. Clappe's been fantastic. Bradley's been brilliant. Through the centre, delivers. Williams on the end. 12 kicks to Bradley. He likes playing against Geelong in grand finals. He was brilliant in 1995. Clappe's been important up forward. Williams kicked 5 in the pocket in that grand final win in 1995 and won the Norm Smith to go with his Brownlow and best and fairest. There's a couple of Brownlows in the end and he's kicked it beautifully. They've got the answer. 6-1. It's 6-3 to 1-5.
And terrific play then by Clappe. So his work at not competing in the air. They don't just see themselves as marking players, the Carlton forwards. They also see themselves as scrummers, and they work terrifically well at the bottom of the pack. And their good vision opened up the field, and Greg Williams finishing it off.
One of the crowds, Saints skipper Nathan Burke, who, of course, saw his side go down to Carlton last week in a thriller by 10 points. Hanley to Couch. Now, can they win it out of the middle through McKinnon? A hurried kick is high, up towards the half-forward line. And holding on, you can hear the umpire, who's Mike, and it will be Mike Sexton who'll take the free kick. Been fantastically consistent. Off he goes to Bradley.
Free kick after disposal.
And one would, no, it's very, very early, but you could almost say that Craig Bradley could be eyeing the Michael Tuck medal at this stage of proceedings. Of course, it goes to the best player on the ground. Kilpatrick through, bursting through, pushes the ball along in front of him, then applies the tackle.
And Colbert coming off the field. He's had a poor first half, quiet last week too, and frustration beginning to show as we see Fraser Brown there on screen. He's pretty happy with what he's seeing at the moment.
Hocking back on. So an interesting change. Ratton. It's high by Brett Ratton, but it's wide. 1-5, plays 6-4.
Ben Graham kicks it 70 metres, plus the 10. Barnes, big fly. Carlton push forward through Hamill and Smart. Ratton, so often at the bottom of packs. Hanley off the ground. Hamill, Koutafidis, Camperali now delivers to Murphy. Brilliant first quarter by Murphy. He kicked a sensational goal from the pocket. They're now starting to make their touches pay, aren't they, Carlton? They're delivering.
Well, it's weight of numbers, Bruce. It's the 18th time they've brought the ball into the forward line this quarter to Geelong's 9.
Murphy from about 48. Pushes it to the right for a behind. 6-5 to 1-5. Inside the last minute of the first half of the Ansett Cup Grand Final. The first time the night Grand Final of the Melbourne Cricket Ground. It's an historic occasion here. Blood rule.
It's going off now. Justin Murphy.
Again Murphy. So maybe some blood seeping through from that bandage across the right eye. White will come on. That's Adam White for the last minute of the first half.
Bruce and Tim, I guess the good news for Carlton is they're playing so well with that forward line at the moment. And when you consider who's got to come back, the experimenting they've done, they're going to have so many options as the season unfolds.
They've got multiple options out there tonight. And it's interesting to see Geelong now has Mansfield down in the forward line too. They've got to try and get a couple of goals before half-time.
Well, they've got about 45 seconds to do it. White came in from the side, but wasn't quick enough. Barnes takes the ball.
Johnny Barnes asking for a 50-metre penalty and Mark Nash telling him that's not the case. Barnes is giving him a spray, so the free kick will be reversed, and that's whether you deserve the 50 or not, Barnes. You don't do that when your side needs a goal just going into half-time.
Frustration telling for Barnes. So White may make him pay the ultimate price. A flat-looking punt kick goes down towards half-forward. Ratton was there. Koutafidis is still there. Gets the hand pass out. What's the shot going to be like from Hamill? It's high, but it's wide.
Deserved better, didn't it? That play from Koutafidis. Terrific play from a taller player to crumb like that.
12 effective scoring shots to 6. Tells the story. Scholes tucked in the back pocket. Matt Clappe is right on his mark, giving him very little room indeed. He kicks towards halfback. Big Mill flies from the side. Hannah punches down towards the 50. Pushed inside towards Scott Camberelli once again. Into full forward. Williams couldn't get a second grab. Clappe may. No, taken away by McGrath as he again heads for the boundary line. And Geelong, feeling the heat, will be happy to hear that halftime siren.
Williams on the interchange for Carlton. Corrigan looks like he might have Bradley in a change, number 33 for Geelong, and Ratton and Hocking to go together. 1-5 to 6-6. The Cats need the first one at least, you'd think. Barnes probably copped an earful at half-time. Bradley, Corrigan, bounce.
Well, he gave an earful just before half-time.
And they've copped a turnaround in the decision. Derek Hall sitting out with Carl Steinfort. The Blues forward. Murphy, McGrath. McGrath goes to ground. Wants Scholl and some backup. And again under pressure. Tackle by Murphy on Graham was excellent. Sanderson. Again Geelong unable to get a clear passage. Did McKinnon throw it? Yes.
It's paid.
Gee, it's cruel when it's paid there, isn't it? But if it's there, it's there. Is this a throw, John?
Yeah, well, you can't handball the footy with one hand. There's no doubt about that. But every disposal then, the Geelong players were under pressure, so and going backwards each time they move the ball, so it makes things very difficult.
Clappe got a goal in the second quarter after getting Barnes in a tackle, and he looks like he's got the second. He's played very well, Clappe. He becomes the first multiple goal scorer of the grand final. And Carlton 7-6, Geelong 1-5.
Well, it has been said that when a side's under pressure, they go back to what they know best. And I think we've seen that with the way Geelong have played tonight. They really have chosen the wrong option on many occasions. And they have tried to break tackles. They've tried to handball one too many times. And this is precisely the start that Carlton wanted, but Geelong didn't. And they're really going to have to try and get the ball out of the centre square on this occasion.
37 points now the margin. Allen and Barnes charge at each other. The former wins it, but who can take it out of the centre? Kilpatrick gives it off to Hocking. Gary Hocking kicks in towards half-forward. The lights not helping Mansfield. Mackay a little too far underneath. A Whitehead caught. Defends towards DeLulio. Second off the ground is going to be a goal on it for the Cats. Ronnie the Rockstar has kicked a much-needed goal.
And he's exactly the type of player that Geelong need getting into this game in the second half. Mansfield in the forward line, just a hard worker, Mansfield, and just a bit of pressure on Carlton on that occasion. And once again, they got the ball out of the centre square. They'll need to do that again.
Maybe Ronnie Burns can inspire Geelong. Barnes floats up over the top. Buddha Hocking out of the middle. It's starting to look a little more dangerous. To half forward. No one able to take the mark. The kick is beautifully smothered. They're going to get another chance though. In towards full forward. And a timely mark is taken by Sam's husband, Andy Mackay.
Goes short to Hannah in the back pocket. Hannah again short to Christou. Glenn Manson's been good at the back. Hasn't had a kick, but gee, he's done some good work. A moment ago, he was terrific. Whitehead gets it. This is where if Carlton can soak up the pressure and just push it around and keep it off Geelong, they just might stop that comeback. We say comeback, they haven't been able to put a couple of goals together, the Cats, but you sense that this is again a little chance for them. The window may have opened slightly. Scholl back to centre wing. Robbins tries to work his man out of it, but unable to do so, and the mark taken by Whitehead, who continues to impress. Crystal, they give him the big cheer as always. Murphy has been excellent. High left footer to half forward. Whitnell with Hanley. Whitnell on the left, centering kick. Koutafidis hocking back there. Interesting. To ground. Koutafidis tries a tie poke. Well done, Corrigan. Belts it back out. Not far enough though, and Murphy's got it at centre wing.
In the meantime, Hall comes back onto the ground for the Cats. Murphy spears it in towards half forward. There's a nudge there. It didn't go unnoticed.
And the 50-metre penalty be paid. Ball put on the ground.
Not too subtle from Koutafidis on that occasion.
Push out on Johnny Barnes. Free kick is paid, then ball put on the ground, so 50-metre penalty paid.
And Barnesy making sure that the umpire saw it. Originally from Cobram. Debut back in '87. Has wandered around a bit, but now it looks to have found a home at Geelong.
Like a designated kicker, this fellow, isn't he?
Well, let's see what he can do. Just guides it into half forward. You give them a rap, and that's what happens, Tim. Murphy defends. Bradley has to stand his ground. Michael Sexton does the roving work in front of the pack and does it well. Pokes it out wide. It bounces towards Koutafidis. Bang! Sanderson was coming straight at the ball too. And then he taps it over the line deliberately. Sorry, Leilani. But it was deliberate, wasn't it?
In this instance, Gavin Dawes had no doubt that the only intention was to put the ball out of bounds, so free kick is paid.
Koutafidis goes short. Finds Scott Camberelli. Again, he stabs it. He's trying to turn it round a corner almost. Clappe, pressured. Whitnell, smothered. And well smothered too. Koutafidis may get another chance. Wider towards Milhana. Lynch intercepts. And over the line. On the outer side. Geelong desperately trying to come back.
Boundary throw in. It's 7-6 to 2-5. Greg Williams getting warmed up, stretching. No doubt will play a further part in the match. Kicked a goal in the opening half. McGrath at the back. Murphy. Hocking. Lynch. Now Bitterscombe, well done. To Corrigan. Well played to Sanderson on the end of it. Goes back to Bitterscombe. Inside 50. Play on call. Some great defence there from McKay. Burns across the face. Missing the lot.
Ross Oakley in the crowd there.
Manson from the back pocket. McCarty front spot's got it. Geelong getting a bit of the footy. Burns provides a lead. He's a long kick, McCarty. Goal square's vacant. He might go for it here. He's kicked it very well off the boot. It's right there. Full forward. Front spot. Carlton. Manson. Cats can't get through. It's going to be a bounce. You'd expect the Blues to try and thump it over the line. And Geelong have got to try and push it back and set something up. Carlton have got the advantage of having the tallest man there in Allen. Should belt it over the line. He does. It's a behind. 2-6, 7-6. It's a 5-goal game in the final.
And Carlton been getting the ball out of this situation far too easily. Here we go again.
With Manton simply ambling down the half-back line. He can bounce his way down to centre wing.
No.
He's still going. He's on behind play with Ratton. The advantage is going to be paid against Ronnie Burns. So Rice goes down to Whitehead. And still Burns is gesticulating behind play. Whitehead centering in towards half forward. Koutafidis dangerously lurking. So too is Scott Camberelli, but he bends it back a little too far. Saw Justin Murphy produce one of those in the first quarter as Ronnie DeLulio limps back into the fray.
It's quite interesting. North Melbourne, the contrast in style of play between North Melbourne and Carlton. North are quite happy just to get the ball into a forward zone, whereas Carlton really do like to pinpoint their passes going into their forward line.
Oh, Kilpatrick's put Graham under the hammer. He'll get out of it okay, though. The mark taken by Corrigan. Corrigan can chip in towards the middle, and McGrath. This time straight down the middle. Colbert was held. Allen comes over the top and takes a telling mark.
It's been good, Allen, tonight. He's been good at getting back and just filling in that hole across half-back too.
I feel like it's the start of a very long and successful career for Allen tonight. It's been a real launching pad. Murphy out wide. Ratton and Kilpatrick. Ratton trying to get it over the top to Whitnell. Hanley tries to belt it out of play. Ratton quickly back. Koutafidis at the back with Barnes. Free kick, Barnes.
Free kick against Koutafidis again for holding in the marking contest.
Well, Barnes is one of the few Geelong players who athletically can go with Koutafidis in that situation. So that's worked for them. McGrath. Whitnell tries to run him down. Centre half forward, the kick. Colbert. Is he going to give it up? No. Pushes towards the pocket. Not a good option. McKay. Mansfield have gone to ground. He can't believe the Colbert delivery. McKay to Christou. Christou to centre wing. Camporelli. At the back, Sanderson. Good job. Belts it out of play. At centre wing, Gary Ayres looking on. With Carlton 5 goals in front. Before a fantastic crowd here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
No holding!
And I think the boundary umpire's getting some advice.
I think he wears number 5, that bloke.
No holding, no locking!
He loves G. Ablett. I think he's a truckie from down Geelong way. Good to see him here at the ground. Derek Hall. He'd just like to see a little more on the scoreboard. Goes in towards the middle. McCarty in front of Rice. Normally a deadly left footer. Just about like that. Mansfield now is going to feel the pressure of this defence. And Andy McKay is quite happy to see it over the line.
It was interesting then, Sandy, when Geelong had the ball out there at half forward, all the Carlton players, the backmen and the central players, moved back to cover the spaces, and Geelong really had nowhere to go. They had to go wide to Mansfield, and just unfortunately he wasn't able to take the ball.
Allen again gets front spot, lost it, but then regained it before giving it to Christou. His hand pass gains 25 metres. And again, another throw-in. Runner just out with Cooter.
Okay, Matty. No locking, Matty! Tim, no locking! Yep. No locking arms!
Instructions bellowing out for the umpires about locking arms. Riccardi getting a bit of the footy in this quarter. Tried to get Lynch. Lynch onto it. High ball to centre half forward. Hannah there. Hall, Bitterscombe, Colbert. Mansfield left foot off the ground. Burns. Play on, not 10. Burns on the left, kicks the ball out of play on the 4. McKay doing well at the back. Still the Blues are thwarting the Cats here and frustrating them. Gee, Diodio's run a long way. And kicks it straight to Hocking. He takes his eye off it. Spent it before he had it. Unbelievable. Free kick to Scholl. Or is it coming back to Hocking?
No, to Scholl.
Yep.
High tackle.
Gee, Ronnie ran a long way, didn't he?
He did. I mean, from where he started, it was probably a good 20, 25 metres. But you lose perspective of that in the heat of the game.
Scholl needs to deliver. Goes to the pocket. Hall. Christou. Out of play. Gleeson in the front, Parkin in the back.
Yep.
Allen and Colbert. Cats have got to get one here. They've got it forward for a while. Hannah checked his kick because Christou was underneath it. Derek Hall, again Carlton's tackling is so quick. McGrath belts it forward and out of play.
That's a hard defence to penetrate, isn't it? They've taken the ball down there in their forward line more often than Carlton this quarter, but they just can't get enough space to set anything up.
So Allen and Colbert again. Laying it down. Whitehead pushes forward. Sanderson. Colbert. Touched. Play on. Straight up in the air. And a boundary throw-in. In fact, it must have been straight up in the air and out on the full, not touched. That's right. It's going to be a kick to Hannah. Gives it over to Manson. Will he square it up? As Tim said tonight, Carlton's had great success in bringing the ball out of defence, whether from a behind or a kick. Good mark to Biddiscombe. Murphy in trouble, is he? Looked as if he might have hurt his leg, Murphy. Biddiscombe squares it to Scholl.
Justin wants to take goals.
See Murphy grimacing, and now Geelong with a chance. McGrath.
Yes, he's been in the wars a bit, Murphy, tonight. As McGrath chips towards left half forward. Some heavy work on young Milburn, but he's okay. Now Murphy, limping from the ground meantime, has left the arena twice so far for the blood rule. We'll find out his problem in a moment as Williams comes back on, but now it's with Milburn.
Let's go.
Umpire saying, come on, to the youngster, let's go. Well, Darren Milburn does, but not very far to Marty McKinnon. Now McKinnon unloads with a bomb. This is a big bomb in towards full forward. Pushed in towards the pocket, kept in by Crystal. Has time, in fact, to get onto the left foot and wobble it to the half-back line. They're not out of trouble yet. Colbert was shoved in the back.
I'd agree with that one.
Umpire calls play on, however, so Peter Riccardi does. Tries to get out of his own teammate's way, then gets clear from 51 metres. Riccardi sets sail for home. The Cats hang on. Peter Riccardi has been pretty quiet, but that may just ignite the Cats.
He's been a much better contributor this quarter, Sandy, than what he was in the first half. And you always felt that Geelong was going to have to kick a long goal because Carlton was building up that wall of players. They couldn't penetrate it, and what they ended up having to do is exactly what Riccardi did, get a guy outside 50 that can actually kick over the line.
Well, the Carlton chant has certainly not left the MCG yet. Barnes, who can take it out of the centre. Kilpatrick does it nicely to Riccardi again. This time onto the right foot. Down to half forward. No mark taken, although Geelong was playing in front. Lynch at the bottom of the pack. Allen somehow gets it out. Barnes goes storming through. Smothered, however. Gets another chance, at least his teammate does, in Corrigan. Up towards Hall. Beaten for it. Kilpatrick. 60 metres out. Could chip towards Derek Hall. It's a little too far. Christie was there. Milburn is there for Geelong. Finally, it's Manton, steadying to Mackay. Andy Mackay, the look-away hand pass. Christie goes towards the half-back line, towards Peter Dean. Pushed down to the boundary line on the defensive 50.
And that was exactly why you must keep pressure on backline opponents. The Geelong forward on that occasion just putting enough pressure on Christie so that he didn't kick the ball to the boundary line. He was actually forced to kick the ball back towards the centre of the ground.
Luke O'Sullivan and Earl Spalding looking on. The Rhino unable to take his place. Williams put under a ton of pressure. Sexton just does it quietly and efficiently to Allen, who whips it up towards Lance Whitnell. Kept it in play for a moment, but now another throw-in.
Corrigan's been good on, as we look at Holt, Corrigan's been good on Bradley in this term too.
Bradley's been a much quieter player in this third term. Terrific first half.
So the Cats closing a bit. Graham and Dean. Camperale. Whitnell. Belts it to full forward. Filafiti's too good there against Steinford. It's always a problem if you don't have a 6'4" guy who can jump like this fellow on him. He's going to win most contests one-on-one.
Nothing there at all, mate. Nothing there at all. That's it.
Just a good one-on-one contest created by Whitnell, just throwing the ball onto his boot.
He missed in the second quarter and had a lot of misses against St Kilda last week. They like that one though, he's got it. Koutafidis gets his first. It's been the same most of the night. Carlton have been able to answer. When Geelong get within some sort of a striking range, the Blues get the next one.
Yes, and Hocking just unlucky not to get hold of that ball. He was in the right position. Whitnell just throwing the ball on his boot. And Koutafidis, strong player in those one-on-one contests.
Just over 7 minutes remaining. Carlton having the answers in this third quarter. Allen sets himself for another duel with John Barnes. 24 plays 55. Lynch, not realising he had as much time as he did. There's a sensational mark by Ronnie Burns, but then he's ducked back. He was taken high, so he's going to get out of it. Burns kicked a goal earlier in this quarter. Distance will test him. In fact, he's going to go short into the pocket. That's sensible. Colbert that made the pass. The boy originally from South Bendigo. Been pretty quiet tonight.
It's a tougher angle. Probably 30 metres closer to the goal, though.
He's kicking from probably 43 metres. But a very tight angle. A drop punt that goes across the face of goal. Registers behind.
Sam and Leilani, what do you think, Sam? Do you think the Blues have got a winning lead, or Leilani, you think the Cats might be back in it?
Oh, no, I think the Blues have got it. And I'll just say never underestimate the Cats.
Particularly after last week.
That's right.
Williams has got it.
What a kick. Greg Williams did not have to break stride there.
Centre wing. Koutafidis late. Sanderson, and we just spoke to Brenton's girlfriend Leilani a moment ago. Sam McKay there, Andrew's wife. Best of mates tonight. So Brenton Sanderson has done a pretty good job at the back for Geelong. Kicks to half forward. Bradley, no kicks in this quarter. After 13 in the opening half. Battles to the boundary line. Boundary throw in.
Hocking going with Greg Williams. Greg Williams running away from the ball into the Carlton forward line, and Hocking trailing with him.
Allen and Barnes. Missed by Ratton. Bradley. Corrigan gets his hands on it. Ratton, well done. Gets it out. Hannah tries. Kilpatrick. Burns. Back to Sexton. Kilpatrick and Ratton. Ratton's tackle good. And then ridden into the ground. Should get a free kick. Well played, Brett Ratton. He just kept on going there, didn't he? Back to Camporale.
Who has a little time and doesn't make full use of it. Scholl drifts across and takes a timely mark. So Geelong hold it up in that forward zone. They're still in there with a chance. Sanderson caught by Whitehead. Thrust clear into the pocket. A snap across the face of goal. Goes right across the face, and Andy McKay sees it over the line.
They should have done more with that, Geelong, then. They really had the opportunity to make Carlton pay for a poor kick. And the Geelong boys looking on there.
Yes, Liam
You'd have
Pickering.
to say they look worried, don't you?
Billy and Barry Stoneham. Christou gets a touch. A behind is the end result.
It really was a missed opportunity. They haven't had many gifts from Carlton in this game, but it was one of those occasions where Carlton erred in the clearance of the ball, and there was plenty of space for Geelong to operate in.
Manton is the target. He's right on it.
50-metre penalty paid, not in the contest for the mark, claims the player after the mark has been taken, causes a delay. It's got to be 50.
Well, Colbert showing a little frustration because he vented some against Rack just a minute or so ago.
I think Carlton have just got too much run, and Geelong are doing anything they can to try to hold them up, so they just slow down that movement into the forward line.
The Whitnell lead ignored. Instead, the other option is Matt Allen, known as the Agate. He's had plenty of it tonight, Tim.
He's been good. His ruck work's been good too.
In towards Hamill. Fine one grab by young Aaron Hamill.
You don't have to come around and wait it, mate. Wait it to your right, that's it. Yeah, you're right on it there. That's fine. That's it, mate.
Carlton have been prepared to do that tonight. Just square the ball up across the centre and just wait. They hold on to the ball. They just wait for the lead from the Carlton forwards, and they work hard to make space.
Let's see what the 19-year-old can do from 46 metres. Another one on the board to Carlton.
I've been impressed tonight with Carlton's precision with their kicking. And good finishing on that occasion.
Hamill off the ground. Murphy back on the ground, Dipper.
Yes, Bruce, bit of deja vu. Last week he did the same injury and came back on the ground like he is now and kicked 3 goals. Let's see how he does now.
That's Murphy, so Geelong wouldn't want that to happen. Corrigan, they can't afford 3 goals from anywhere. From Carlton. End of it as Bitterscombe's got it at centre wing. Started on the interchange tonight. Goes short. Lynch the target. Couldn't take the mark. Hocking in close quarters.
Got the handball down first.
Just 5 kicks for Gary Hocking tonight. Lynch 6. Whereas Ratton and Bradley 11 and 13. Camperelli 12. Carlton midfield players have been on top. Kilpatrick 5 for Geelong. Williams clever. Bradley off the ground. Corrigan. He's done a reasonable job on Bradley in this quarter. Steinford. Hannah at the back. Did he give away a free kick? Not paid. Boundary throw in. 3-8 to 9-7 the score. As Hamill, who just kicked the goal and straight off the ground.
Yep.
Sanderson and Allen, so you can see the height difference there. Kilpatrick, Greg Williams, well played to Ratton. Must be getting close to favourite now for the Michael Tuck Ratton. At 50, Handley, caught, gone, I'd say. Bounce. Couldn't go anywhere with that one.
I'm sure Gavin Dorr thought about giving it against him. Gets the footy, tries to go through 2 tacklers. No prior opportunity, so I think that's okay.
Free kick to Greg Williams here. So Geelong have had 2 or 3 tonight, haven't they? Where something has happened from a bounce, or they've had their own kick and had it taken off, and Williams kicks it beautifully. There's precision, isn't it, Tim?
It's just smart play, though. Dean led up the ground, and Camperelli really wasn't guarded closely enough by Sanderson. He was able to give too much space on Sanderson. But Dean threw the dummy lead from the 10-metre square. Deasdale looked at that, and all the time he was just summing up his other options.
Camperelli from the pocket, about 40 metres out. Normally kicks the ball very well. Just misses a behind, so 9-8 to 3-8. It's been very good, Camperelli. Goal in the second quarter. A couple of behinds in this. Ben Graham to Handley.
Finds his target. But precious seconds are ticking away for Geelong in this third quarter. McGrath almost down to centre wing. Bang goes Corrigan. And there's the turnover as Christou whips it back towards half forward. Handley comes pounding over Williams. Caught one almost on the head. He got up that high. In fact, he's still holding it. A knee to the head, I would suggest.
Nothing wrong with that. Attempting to spoil. Prime objective was to contest the mark or spoil, so that's okay.
Hocking takes the free kick. Finds McGrath at half-back. Williams is leaving the ground. Hamill's coming back on as I speak. Almost a good trap. Pushed wide towards Koutafidis, but it came originally from Bitterscombe. Socket off the ground. Inside the last minute now, as Darren Milburn sees it over the line. The Diesel getting ready for yet another season. 4 times All-Australian, dual Brownlow medalist, and just a champion of the game. Barnes and Allen. Whitehead in front of Kilpatrick. Whitehead still going. Little Topo sees it come clear to Cabarelli, and he goes bang with a bomb down towards Murphy. He's got a teammate in Whitnell. Lance Whitnell spears it in towards Peter Dean. Wouldn't he love a goal? And Hanley tries to get out of trouble. He does so to McGrath. Tim McGrath flicks it high towards centre wing. Later to see Christou take the mark. Now Sexton drifts down.
Christou's been good tonight too.
Whitnell's moving around half forward. Christou goes up towards Koutafidis. That was his target. White is at the back. Murphy. He has a habit of kicking these. Does Justin. And he's done it again. Right on the siren. And is she wrapped? Are they wrapped? Well, Murphy kicked 3 in the 3rd term last week. He only needed 1 in this term, but a memorable one, Tim.
Well, he did one in the first quarter from the opposite flank. This time on his non-preferred foot, just sat it up there and it floated through. And isn't he happy about that result?
Sensational goal to Justin Murphy. So that's 2 now for him so far in this game. 1 in the first, 1 in the 3rd. And that would have hurt Gary Ayres. But no pain for Fraser Brown and Carlton supporters. They look at a scoreboard and they can maybe see another premiership going out the way of Optus Oval. At 3/4 time, Carlton are saying catch us if you can, because they've got a 7-goal break. 10-8 plays 3-8. Well, let's see if they can produce something in this final quarter. St Kilda copped a rev last week at this time and came out and made a game of it against Carlton. Allen and Barnes through to Julio. Burns was at the bottom of the pack. First goal absolutely critical for the Cats. They surge it down towards the half forward. Beautifully done by Burns. Here's an opportunity for Robbins, but again the kicking lets them down. Only a youngster and has been brought through the reserves quietly over the last couple of years. Has played something like 42 reserves games, Robbins. So like Steinfort, just edging him in slowly. Can they do it? Well, they've got it down in that attacking zone. Ooh.
Looked a bit hot.
Felt a bit hot, I think, too. Nevertheless, Christou will accept it and go towards McKay on half-back. Pull to the ground. McKinnon plays on. Swings it back into half-forward once again. And it'll be Barnes this time who will send Geelong forward. John Barnes stabs the pass beautifully. And they'll get another opportunity now. This young man also has big reps on him, Cameron Roberts.
Stay.
Teenager from South Australia.
Stay. That's a line. 5 metres.
Good
And
kick.
if he can get this, stranger things have happened at sea. Not a severe angle. That hasn't really meant a lot tonight. He's very deliberate in his approach, and he's drilled it. So an important goal for Cameron Roberts, but a far more important one for Geelong.
That was a good, intelligent kick then by John Barnes. Just waiting. A hole appeared. Didn't try and do too much with the ball. A lot of players do try and pinpoint their kicks. Barnesy just set it up nice and softly into space, and good finishing by the youngster.
back to 6 goals. Barnes and Allen. Sanderson pushes forward. Robbins back to Barnes.
Tackles high.
Here the umpire, tackle high, so coming back to John Barnes in the centre of the ground.
Bad play then by Colbert to kick the ball on. What Geelong needed to do was get the ball back as quickly as they could. They've got to get the ball into their forward line while they've still got some space.
Scholl receives it and decides he'll kick it as far as he can to half forward. Or Burns late, nearly a terrific mark. Whitnell comes away and goes for distance. Awkward ball here. Scholl after it and Dean after him. Boundary throw-in.
Right after collision, move.
You always get the feeling watching Burns play that there's a lot more there, don't you? He lets himself go on the odd occasion, but you always feel like he could be a superstar.
Certainly tonight he's the only Geelong player up forward that you feel can break a line with something magical, isn't he?
He's looked dangerous.
Out of the ordinary. And they need something. Bradley pushing forward. Scholl and Camporale. Scholl works to the boundary line. There's no question that he wanted the boundary line, but it would have been a very brave call to pick him up for that one. Derek Hall and Tim McGrath.
Same again. Yeah, you're right.
Been
Same
cameo
again,
roles tonight, really.
No locking. No locking.
Off the interchange. Hall good last week. Dean coming in to help Whitnell. Whitnell gets a quick kick away. Koutafidis, well done, Graham. Koutafidis still in the pocket. Camporale back to... No, didn't go back. Ratton back to Koutafidis. Missed it. Kilpatrick. It ricochets away from Corrigan. Missed by Dean. Corrigan to Barnes to Hocking. It was exciting stuff in the end. Hocking too slow down. When I say too slow in getting rid of the football. Run down by Murphy.
It's just forward of centre.
I mean, you could argue it was a push in the back too. It wasn't a particularly great tackle.
Koutafidis tries to get through. He can't. Whitnell couldn't take it. Soccer back towards Bradley. Had a sensational first half. Whitehead flicks it in towards half forward, only as far as Michael Mansfield. Did play on. And goes to the outer side. Carlton could wrap it up with another one here. Geelong could stay in the hunt. Bradley from centre wing. A worm burner to Ratton. He's got a player out wide in Williams. Diesel is 46 metres from home. He hits for home, but he's out on the ball.
And Craig Bitterscombe saying to Diesel, look where that kick went, and Diesel saying to Bitterscombe, you just have a look at the scoreboard, son.
The wry smile of the veteran. As Hocking brings it into Barnes. And he just floats it over the top towards Corrigan. Again, the turnover is too easy. Ronnie DeLulio goes onto the left foot, putting Carlton inside 50 once again. Close to the boundary line is Graham. Under pressure. Hannah will get a chance. Mill gets the hand pass to Ratton. Brett Ratton spears it short to Bradley. And Craig Bradley could go a long way towards burying Geelong.
Once again, Geelong not playing the percentages very well at all. Just taking the wrong option on too many occasions.
Oh, that's the line there, Monica. Yep.
45-degree angle for Bradley. And kicking from 45. Starts it right and it stays right. In fact, mark on the line by Barnes. No opposition, so he's able to amble away. But he almost made the fatal mistake of stopping. They'll get away with it. Shoulders tucked in the back pocket. He chips up towards the centre wing. And again, the mark taken by Paul Corrigan.
But he puts his man under the hammer and Lynch. Bradley. And out of play. Against Bradley. For deliberate. That is a big call.
I don't know whether he's paid it for deliberate out of bounds or throwing the ball.
No, well, throwing it, was it?
I'd like to see it again, actually.
It'd be good to see it again. He actually called throwing it.
Okay, I missed that. I thought it was for deliberate out.
It could well have been, Bruce, but...
Let's have a look.
He didn't throw it. No, he didn't throw it, no.
Gee, that is a very hard call. Corrigan's kick to half forward. Mark taken by Sexton. Sexton to centre wing. Bradley again. Corrigan with him and Murphy. Corrigan's handball. Ratton back to Bradley. They're two of the best on the ground. Back to Ratton. Another player who's starred is Murphy. In fact, it might be hard to find a Geelong player in the best 6 on the ground tonight. Murphy to centre-half forward. Good one to Diolio. Vacant square.
Ron, you've got a metre, Ron. Ronnie, metre.
Is Bradley coming off? I think he is.
Ronnie Diolio. Ronnie.
I know that
Got a metre.
Bradley called himself out of the match last week when he'd had enough, which is unusual for him to do that. So he's run himself out and decided to come off as Diolio kicks, and it's a behind. 10-9 to 4-8. So Stephen Kernahan, Craig Bradley's great mate from South Australia, both coming across in 1986. Both had done so much in Adelaide. One with Glenelg, Kernahan, and one with Port Adelaide Bradley.
One of the great recruiting years that was for Ian Collins and Carlton. Peter Motley, another who came across. Mansfield is in the back pocket. Well, what a lift this is going to give Carlton with the home and away season starting on Thursday. Riccardi's called to play on. Here's dangerous. Clappe has it smothered by Hocking. Played by Butter. He too is caught. Written into the ground. And picked. Couple of hot ones there. But Aaron Hamill, who applied the tackle, is going to take the kick.
Pretty crude tackle at that, actually.
45-degree angle, 50 metres out. Doesn't like it at all. Doesn't fancy his chances. So it goes wider to Scott Cabarelli, who's on a better angle but further out. 14 kicks for Scott. We'll just pump it long.
Right up, Warren Nashi.
In towards at the full forward. No mark taken. Geelong should be able to tidy up with Mansfield leading the defensive brigade. Finding a Riccardi off to Sanderson. He's on half-back. They want goals though, and they want them smartly as Scholl runs through that defensive line. Comes towards centre wing. Again falling down. Hamill is the first to recover. He picks himself up and shoots it towards the boundary line. Can go again. And in fact is going to get a kick, because that ricocheted off the Geelong boot of McKinnon.
Geelong had to zigzag across the field then, Sandy. There was a wall of players, of Carlton players, who pushed back to cover all the spaces, and they were just forced to go wide.
In fact, Carl Steinford it was. Steinford going with him. Hocking intercepts, takes the mark. Sanderson again drifting into the middle. Oh, danger here. Look at the Carlton boys waiting down. Clappe to Cooter. Cooter, a clever kick. Lance Whitnell will now have a shot almost directly in front.
Darren, right there, mate, yep. Justin, give him room, mate. Peter, right where you are.
Great vision, wasn't
it?
it?
Right, see, you're right.
And execution too on his non-preferred side. He's almost a complete player, Anthony Koutafidis.
Father Graham, who played some 66 games with the club. Lance Whitnell, unlike the Whitman's lightship, just slightly off target.
Great weight of blood as we see David Parkin still looking a worried man, but you'd have to say that his side's pretty well clear now. Unlikely to lose this clash. It's a good way to blood young players though, Carlton, when you can bring them in with a good group of experienced players that Carlton have in their side at the moment.
Camberali, Koutafidis, Diolio, Whitnell, 50 metres out, good kick, that's going to be a goal. Two to Whitnell. There's one of those young players that has been blooded.
Well, Whitnell, he hasn't starred tonight, but he hasn't had to star. He's done his job. He's kicked 2 goals as a forward, and the Carlton forwards have been prepared to share the ball, but in another side, in a lesser side, a young player like Whitnell may be expected to do a certain amount, but in this Carlton side, he'll just be able to be brought along nice and slowly.
Ratnoff wide on, 11-10 to 4-8. Whitnell with 2 goals. Lynch hardened it at the centre, and White in on him, and it's going to be a bounce. So the Blues home now. Bradley resting, Ratton wrestling. The taste of success on their face, isn't it? They just look like they're home and hosed.
Not all a wrestling, but maybe a bit of resting.
Well, that's what I meant. It's getting late, Sandy.
I know.
Williams.
And we've got a feast of Test cricket still to come on 7 as Carlton go down into the defensive zone. Hannah attacks the football for the Blues and attacks it strongly in opposition to Hocking. He just gets a tiny little toe poke. It's okay to Lynch. Lynch tries the impossible. Takes it too far across the face and one behind. So just on 11 minutes now.
Right out.
Before Carlton adds another trophy to the pretty well stacked cabinet.
Let's just see how they clear the ball this time.
Christou to half-back. Manton got a hand to it and will get a second chance. Allen does the shepherding work to allow him through to give it to Caporali. He kicks up towards half-forward. Whitnell, a clever punch at the back. Now the race is on and Hamill leads in the race. Aaron Hamill, a kind bounce. A chip in towards goal. There's another one. Back home the Blues. Two goals to Aaron Hamill. One in the third, one in the fourth. 12-10, plays 4-9.
What really impressed me about this bit of play was Camporelli. The only thing he had on his mind when he got hold of that ball really was to kick for distance, to create a situation down the field where there was going to be another contest, and then those players could work from that contest. And good finishing by Hamill.
Well, Sam and Leilani, it's all over Red Rover. Sam, you're home, and Leilani, bad luck tonight.
It's been a great game, though.
Quick kick away by Sanderson, 4-9, 12-10. Gee, good thing for the Blues too. They're two teenagers that kicked the last two goals, Whitnell and Hamill, and that was one of the things you were talking about 5 minutes ago, Tim. Blooding those kids, and they're going to remember this grand final for a fair while. You won one pretty early on in your career at Essendon, a night grand final, and the club went on to do some great things after that. Camporali, beautiful to Dean. So watch out the Blues in 97.
Diesel still there in the pocket.
He's got him now.
Lost so much weight over the summer, Peter Dean couldn't even see him.
Williams kicked a goal at this end of the ground in the second quarter. And watching him tonight and coming on last weekend, you feel that Carlton and Williams have still got some good things to happen amongst each other this year. He could have retired, but he looks fit. He's contributed tonight very well. David Parkin's already said publicly that he's got places he probably won't play him this year, but one of them will be the MCG. I'm sure he'll be playing him here. He's missed that. So a goal and out of bounds on the forward and not behind.
He's disappointed with that too, as we see Gary Hocking, who has been opposed to Greg Williams in parts of this game on the bench. He's had a quiet night by his lofty standards.
Graham brings it back in, looking for Barnes. Floats high, got a hand to it. Colbert could have been held. Still attacks the footy with Hannah. Socket out by Barnes, and then socket again by DeLulio. Down towards the 50-metre line. Lynch. Advantage is going to be paid. It was against Aaron Hamill. And now going to be downfield. Some tired players out there now.
Just a little late, okay? Come on, Mel.
Hannah brought back on the mark. Steinfort kicks towards half forward. Good mark. Taken by Milburn. He looks down towards the forward line. Again, the kicking is letting them down. Whitnell, who, as we said earlier, has spent a lot of his footballing life in the back half. This time it's Murphy on the outer side of the ground who sees it over the line. I wonder if the hangover will continue as it has in recent years as far as the night premiership and then the day premiership is concerned in the same year. St Kilda, successful last year, finished 10th. North Melbourne in 95 finished 3rd. Essendon, Tim, you'll remember, in 94 finished 10th.
It's a long season, isn't it? As Malcolm Blood said, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And so much can happen during the course of the years. We see Peter Down resting. Carlton have taken a number of their veterans off to give them a bit of a breather.
Should also say that the Bombers were last to do it, though, back in '93. As a Whitehead's hand pass and finds Williams.
He's such a perfectionist, isn't he, Greg Williams? You've got to love the way that he approaches his
locking,
football.
Cooter! No locking! Good! Safe for you, Steve! No locking!
Big men warned to keep apart, don't lock arms. As you can hear the umpire. Cavarelli is ridden into the ground by Paul Couch. Spent considerable time on the bench. How do you see his role this year, Tim, down at Geelong?
I think he'll be a bench player for most of the year. I think he'll be used in the time on periods and when the game gets really tight, because he's one player, when he touches the ball, it goes to one of his teammates.
There are some of those teammates: Barnes, Hocking, McGrath and Burns, all benched.
That's good, Snow Part, Snow Part.
Kudafides and Hanley, well done to Kilpatrick. Here's Couch, kicks the ball to half forward, gave Scholl a chance. Milburn, Christou's been excellent, hasn't he? It's got better and better as the match has gone on.
I really think Christou's perhaps been the best player on the ground tonight. His effectiveness in the back half and then his attacking play from half back.
There's a blue bench, some big names there too. Dean, Bradley and Ratton. Hogg didn't come back with the ankle after he'd done a fair job on Hocking early and paved the way then for Bradley. It can be misleading, the Ansett Cup. You look at Carlton, who they beat coming through. Melbourne, who were very poor last year. Fremantle, who were 13th last year. St Kilda, who finished 10th last year. So the draw does play a part, but they've been ultra impressive tonight in their victory. And it's a great way to start the season with a win.
Brian Sheehan!
Mind you, Geelong have done exactly the opposite, haven't they? The West Coast, Adelaide, and the reigning day premiers, North Melbourne.
Yeah, had a harder draw, particularly with Adelaide in Adelaide, even though Adelaide were only 12th last year.
Yep.
It's a pretty tough trip. Giulio, high, G. Colbert, not quite. It's just one of those, Tim, also, I mean, after Geelong's disappointments in day grand finals, there's been a fair bit of witch hunting. This one you just got to forget about and get on with the season. I mean, again, some players tonight, and Colbert and Hocking are two of them, who played poorly in the last grand final and haven't done much again tonight.
I guess, as we see Colbert there on the screen, he hasn't had a terrific game tonight, but I guess one of the worrying things may be from Gary Ayres' point of view is the fact that he has got a fairly young side at his disposal now, and you just wonder what it may do to them confidence-wise on the eve of the season. I mean, their season really doesn't start now until next week. They've taken a fair battering here tonight. They've had a hard month of football too, and you just wonder whether or not they'll be able to recover in a hurry.
Players like Paul Couch too must be wondering when they're going to play in a winning grand final side. He's played in 6, now 7 losing grand final teams, and if that doesn't hurt, nothing does. There's Milhana on a half-back.
You also wonder whether it'll hurry the arrival of G. Ablett again.
Correct. Hannah to right half forward. Belted clear towards Whitnell. He gets the hand pass away to Whitehead, who chips into the pocket and finds the agate, Matt Allen. Well, this could be the icing on the cake for the big man.
David Parkins said at the start of their pre-season that he was going to play Matthew Allen right through the pre-season competition, and I reckon he's gotten better and better with each game he's played.
47 metres out. Left foot drop punt goes across the face of goal and is eventually taken over for one behind. Conceded. So Gary Ayres will no doubt be thinking about Barry Stoneham, Liam Pickering, Gary Ablett, Tanner, Simpson, Brownless, Hargraves, and these sort of players with the home and away season starting next week.
Yeah, loss here is not the end of the world there.
Oh, no.
A lot of talent there to come back.
Yep. Handley going with the left hand, but pushed out by Koutafidis, just trying to centre it. Taken by Mansfield. Sweeps the hand pass back into the run of Kilpatrick. He goes low to half forward. The Lulio got a hand to it and recovers well, was then shoved in the back. And Ronnie up as quickly as he went down. Clears on half back.
To McKay. Delivers to centre wing Koutafidis and Graham. Blues looking for one. Koutafidis majestically. 60 metres out. Keeps it low. Kicks it. Just misses. That would have been the icing on the cake. He's a joy to watch, isn't he, Koutafidis?
David Parkin doesn't look that impressed at the moment, though, Bruce. You wonder when a coach is happy, don't you?
You'll like it on the replay.
He'll be happy with a victory and he'll be already thinking about next week's first game for 4 points.
Against Essendon on Easter Monday. And Geelong have got Richmond at the MCG the day before. A couple of blockbusters, aren't they? Murphy gets it short. It's been as good as any forward on the ground tonight, Murphy.
8 goal kickers, Carlton. They'd be happy with that.
And Justin Murphy's kicked 2 of them, and they've both been spectacular from either pocket. Down to the scoreboard end. Let's see if he can kick one from the punt road end. It's a great kick, isn't it? Oh. I really think he could be a force in AFL football, this young man. 13-13 to 4-9.
Kicked 5 goals in his first game of AFL football for Richmond against Essendon. And he's gone in fits and starts since then. But he's a very accomplished player, a good forward. He knows how to get the ball, and he's an extremely good finisher.
Justin Murphy now rubbing some salt into the wound. If that wasn't enough, Kilpatrick goes storming through, but only for a moment as Hannah's hand pass goes back in towards the centre. Handley claimed. The umpire decides that he'll have it. Still in the middle. 25 is Sam Smart for Carlton. Stephen Handley, 14 for Geelong. Going to be interesting to see Smart, medical student, how his career unfolds in the AFL. There's a lovely pickup from Christou. A finger tipper. Now down towards half forward. Williams took the punt. Whitnell's at the back. Ripped off the ball by Derek Hall. Mansfield does it nicely. Cool. And then spoiled it all. Williams may say, how about this one then? Murphy kick another one and see how you go now. Oh, he likes this, does Justin. Plays 14-13. Say goodnight to the folks, Gracie.
Once again, a turnover. And that is vintage Greg Williams.
Not bad for Murphy either, is it? Just hasn't been around as long. Gee, Williams' left-hand handball. The official attendance tonight, 74,786. That's about 750 short of the all-time record for an Ansett Cup final. It's a great turnout. And they're seeing a very, very impressive Blues. Hall, Hamill, bounce. No free kick to Hall.
Push in the back.
Scholl short. Sanderson through the centre. Missed by Colbert. Sexton. Hasn't had a lot to do tonight, Sexton, but he's been good out in the full. He's a bit unlucky. He went for the kick off the ground. Colbert came across him with a bump and out in the full. Big chant around the ground. Sanderson between centre wing and half forward. Oh, that could have been embarrassing. Colbert's got it. Short. Bitterscombe
And we shouldn't forget that Carlton's best defender hasn't even played tonight, Steve Silvani.
High ball by Biddiscombe to full forward. Hanley had a bit of it. Milburn. McKinnon has got his second.
Well, they've been hard to come by tonight for Geelong. Goals extremely hard to manufacture. And McKinnon, who's been all over the ground tonight, getting down there. Good camera angle, that right behind the kick, swinging onto his trusty left foot. And 2 goals for Martin McKinnon. And there's Fraser Brown, who hopefully will be back in a couple of weeks for Carlton. He's missed a lot of pre-season, but one of their very best players.
39 plays at 97. Carlton free kick. There's
high contact, Sandy.
Silvani clan. Speaking of players coming back, Smart goes down towards half forward. Drops short over. Biddiscombe takes it. Finds Sanderson. Now Steinfeld. Couch onto the left foot. Academic now. As time ticks away, Tim McGrath, quiet night for him. Into the centre, wanted Hanley, but that was the story of his night. White flicks it out the back door. They may get away with it yet. Steinfeld under pressure. Pokes it high in towards the half-forward line. Good diving mark taken by Coleman. But all too late. Carlton have won the Ansett Cup for 1997. Coleman's kick slams into the post. And so it will be recorded as one behind, but the Blues are the champs. Let's go down to the ground, Dipper.
Yes, thanks very much, Sandy. Well, one guy who's worked very hard to get in that Carlton side. Ronnie, congratulations.
Thanks, Dipper. It was a hard-fought contest and it was good to win.
Now, Ronnie, you were the underdogs at the start of the night. I mean, everyone was expecting Geelong to roll the Blues, but once again, the boys have done it.
Yeah, to our credit, we worked hard for the 4 quarters and we came up with a win, which is good.
Now, your own form, had a good pre-season. Really are trying so hard to stay in this side, aren't you?
Yeah, well, it's hard work. You've got to stay in there to keep your spot, Dipper, so I'm happy. That's the main thing.
Go and sing that song.
Thanks, mate.
Good on you.
Thanks, Dipper, with Ronnie Giulio as Carlton celebrate. And Gary Ayres makes the long trick across the ground. Not such a hard trick as the last one in September, but still a great win for Carlton. To both Sam and Leilani, thanks very much for being part of the telecast tonight. Leilani, good luck with you and Brenton, and also this year for Geelong, and Sam, you and Andrew back in Melbourne.
Thank you very much.
Enjoyed your contribution tonight. Thank you very much. Let's go down to the AFL Master of Ceremonies, Craig Willis, for the presentation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we begin the presentation. Joining me here on the dais is the AFL Games record holder, former Hawthorn champion, Michael Tuck, to present the Michael Tuck medallion to the player judged best on the ground by an independent panel in the 1997 Ansett Australia Cup. The winner of the Tuck medal for 1997 at the MCG tonight is Craig Bradley of Carlton. Ladies and gentlemen, would you now please welcome the Executive Chairman of Ansett Australia, Mr. Rod Eddington, to present the Ansett Australia Cup to the captain, tonight's captain for the Blues, Craig Bradley, and the coach of the winning club, of course, David Parkin. Rod, please.
Thanks very much, Craig. Ansett's delighted to have been associated again with what's been a terrific summer football season, and in particular a great grand final here at the MCG. Thanks to the crowd who've been terrific all night. Congratulations to Carlton, who've been worthy winners, and are delighted to present the cup to Craig Bradley and David Parkin from the Carlton Football Club.
We'd just like to thank all the Carlton supporters tonight for coming out and supporting us. Fantastic stuff. Hope to see you next week. Thanks, Ansett, for sponsoring the event. And that's all. Thanks very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, captain tonight, winner of the Michael Tuck Medal, Craig Bradley. After the photo, Craig, lead the team on a victory lap here at the MCG. Carlton, the 1997 Ansett Australia Cup captain, champion.
What a great shot there of the Blues there celebrating the Ansett Australia Cup. And Russell Morris has got David Parkin with him. Russell.
Thanks, Bruce. David, congratulations tonight. Can you just give me a brief assessment of what you thought of the team's performance tonight?
Well, I'm just delighted that what's been a terrific preparation pre-season and before Christmas even. I sensed that we had a bit of rebuilding, you know, in terms of our own morale and belief in ourselves, and I think it's just been great. The competition, the way it's developed for us, we've had good opposition each week, we've had some terrific games, and to come here in the final one, and I think played probably our best football for a while, and win this trophy is a terrific way to start 1997.
How much importance do you place on Ansett Cup, considering the past 3 years? I think a lot of teams have fallen off during the season after winning it.
I hadn't thought of that, but you know, if we had a choice, I've said all the way along, you want to be playing the informed teams in your hometown. I think it's probably better to do that. The incentive of having to travel to Alice Springs and Devonport was always a good three-quarter time incentive to throw at the players. So I think the competition's been terrific for us. We've used it in a development sense, as Geelong did too, and I hope our younger players will get an enormous to play in front of a terrific 70,000 plus crowd here in a game that stood for a fair bit for us, and I think it did for Geelong too, and to actually win that, I don't think you can buy that sort of you know, experience for younger players. So they'll be delighted that they've come out, represented the club well, played good football and actually won the competition. I don't think you can do anything else but good. Yeah, I'm aware, I mean, I don't think about those things too much, but I'm aware that other clubs have suffered the consequences. I think we're a bit more mature. We've got a, you know, an older bunch that will keep the young blokes firmly on the ground.
Well done, mate. Congratulations.
Thanks very much indeed.
Australian Football Video presents
the video collection no True Blue footy fan would be without. Every great and glorious grand final victory since 1961 captured for your viewing pleasure in the WEG Grand Final commemorative video series. Unique WEG premiership covers, the blood, sweat and cheers of champions inside every one. Collect your own gift price slice of football history at one of these stores now.